Hello. No, you're not tripping. It's me. I'm talking this time. Welcome to Next TMT Talks. I'm Daniel Frankel, co-founder and CEO of Next TMT, with my co-founder David Bloom, who last night, I don't know if he was a transom for inspired spirits or what overcame him, but he made one of the more prescient predictions and media tech that you will ever see. We were talking about a hot rumor that emerged Friday about Roku beginning talks to sell itself. Roku has been around for 18 years. Rumors have swirled for over a decade about its imminent sale. This one seemed kind of serious. There were a lot of names on the board: Netflix, Meta, Disney, Comcast, and
Trade
Fox,
desk.
the trade desk. David here, Kruskin as I now like to call him, zeroed in on Fox. It just so happens there was an official announcement this morning. Fox is buying Roku for $22 billion, or that's what they're valuing it. David, what were you thinking?
For my next deck, I'm going to go bend some spoons, and not the company that's rolling up companies like Evernote. The deal is, if you looked across the universe, who had a hole and prospects politically to get that hole filled and
Right?
could probably afford, no, I don't know, 20 bills, and that turns out to be 22 bills. And it's a small list. It's a smaller list than even the analysts were putting out. I think some of that was, like I said, it felt a little bit like sports talk radio spitballing that next Lakers deal where you send a couple of broken down veterans and a second round draft choice to some hapless team in, I don't know, Dallas to get a superstar, right? It's like, this isn't going to happen, but then it happened. And it turns out it was Fox,
If Anthony Davis
which,
stays healthy, it's a transformative deal for them too. Go ahead.
yeah, well, right. The knees are probably going to be fine. The deal is the deal itself, $22 billion cash and stock. There's like 12 billion in debt. That ain't nothing. But remember, Lachlan Murdoch, the CEO of Fox, his daddy Rupert inherited a little newspaper company in Australia, built it up to a globe girdling international media empire across, I think, every medium you can imagine, from books to TV and radio and on and on and on, and then sold nearly all of it to Disney in 2019 for $71.3 billion. So they've been carrying on through the streaming stuff, the streaming revolution, the streaming wars, not killing themselves, spending billions to launch a streaming service. They waited till last August to do that. They did pick up Tubi right in the throes of the COVID lockdown for, I think, $440 million. I
A
mean,
bargain.
pittance.
And this is a
A
bargain. This
it is one of the great bargains of media in a business that's not known for its bargains. Let's just say, right? So, but the deal is they were still locked into broadcasting and cable. They are powerhouses with Fox News on the cable side, and Fox Business is sort of its little brother, sister, sibling, whatever. Fox Entertainment on the Fox Broadcast Channel, powered by the NFL and other sports of several kinds. Fox Sports, broadcast cable, so on and so forth. They've done extremely well. Their profits have been good. Wall Street has liked them. They've been a steady player, and they had little operations like Fox Nation, which was kind of originally a fan service, streaming service, and sort of evolved now. It has like a Martin Scorsese series about the Saints. But this is a tiny, tiny little operation. It's like, where are you going to be in the future, Lachlan, when daddy's gone? He's now 96, I think. When he's gone,
it's
what
the
are you
most
going to do?
economical, transformative merger you could possibly make. I
Yeah.
look at the progress that it delivers for Fox compared to the risk that the Ellisons are taking by acquiring so much library and content. And I think, I like a lot of folks in this polarizing discussion, I don't agree on anything about Rupert Murdoch's ideology, but man, he's a smart businessman. That's I, I think
Yeah.
I think Brian Roberts and Disney are gonna be very regretful that they didn't pull the trigger on this one.
Yeah. Though it's also worth noting, as I sort of nodded my head toward a minute ago, Brian Roberts at NBC Universal slash Comcast and Josh D'Amaro, now running Disney, are unlikely to have gotten the political cover they need or would have needed to get a deal like this through, because there is a regulator in chief whose whims ebb and flow with the tides, seemingly.
I think,
But
the DOG breaks its land speed record that it just set with Paramount, Warner Brothers. I think
oh yeah,
I give them like 36 hours. Oh, yeah, yeah, no antitrust
you
issue.
know, and your metaphor here will be the NASCAR racing that Fox carries. It's going to be a green flag down to the finish line with the checkered flag through. That's probably what's going to happen here. They are not going to have a challenge, I don't think, getting it through. Now that doesn't mean it's not going to have some impacts. 22 billion, 12 billion in debt is not nothing for a company of Fox's size. And in fact, that while a transformative deal is going to be not handcuffs, but definitely a weight on their shoulders. The street, I think Wall Street dropped Fox shares 15%, I believe 14%, nearly 14% in pre market trading. Roku went up slightly, just over flat, but well below purchase price. It's, I think, at 140, around 145, and the purchase price is 160.
It's flat today. I checked.
Yeah. So Roku shares as a whole are still up 30% this year because it's the gateway to more than 100 million North American homes, US, Canada, Mexico. It is the leading gateway to households who watch TV in the United States. In this most valuable of TV markets. It is nothing outside of North America. And that's interesting because even Fox has long had global, you know, plans and reach in various ways with its sports and everything else. And given
Right.
Rupert's Australian roots, and Lachlan is still down there a lot, most of the time now, I think he's down there. So it'll be interesting to see where they would take Roku from here. But Fox is now down 22% for just in this year. And not for a year, but for just 2026, so less than half a year. Amid a record year for the stock market, by the way. So
What happens to
we'll
the
see.
Roku advertising ecosystem? You had the Trade Desk complaining it's a biased arbitrator now that has its own content. Well, now it's owned by a content company. The business changes.
Oh, yeah, it does. I mean, when you're no longer Switzerland, which I invoked yesterday in our podcast then, when you're no longer Switzerland, it does change the dynamic. Do people want to run their stuff on your platform? Or is it that they still need that Roku is still the essential option here? There are plenty of other options. I will be, as a matter of fact, at the Stream TV Denver show that we are both departing for later today. I will be talking with the CMO of Roku, as well as people at DirecTV and LG Ads about other stuff, but it's just possible this might come up. What do we think about, do we still put our ads over there? Does it feel like we're going to get a fair shot? So on and so forth. I think those are really interesting questions, and we'll see if these high ranking executives feel like talking.
Yeah,
So,
that's where Roku makes most of its money, selling
yeah,
ads. There's,
663 million in ad revenue last year, I think. So, that's not bad, you know.
so that's a big deal for a big show. It's
Yeah.
a way to
It
get
kind of
back to
sets the
people.
table, doesn't it? I mean, all of a sudden, the number one streaming platform in North America at what's turning into the number one streaming TV show in North America, separate from all the stuff that NAB is, and because NAB is there's a lot of stuff under that B in the NAB shows. This is just streaming. So this is the number one show for that, or it's turning into that. It's going to be
Right.
really interesting. The context of that entire show, I think, shifts somewhat, and this will be the conversation throughout the week.
Well, good. We got a topic. It's always good to have a topic. So
It's always good to have a topic. So I'm happy about that. Because otherwise, what we do is just sit around and say, boy, this streaming thing is going to be big someday. Turns out it already is, as this $22 billion deal shows.
well, the
With that,
Delta
we probably
Airline
should
folks want me to show up with a bag and get on a plane, so I'm gonna head off, Dave. How about you?
I'm heading off sooner than you are, so yes, but they call me the bag man. So we're wrapping this puppy up. Thanks everybody for watching this breaking news update. We deal with latency between when we say smart stuff, predicting something might happen, and something happening, and us
Go ahead.
like,
Told ya! Just like Nikki.
yeah,
Do it.
told ya.
There you go.
Yeah,
Feels good, doesn't it?
my former employer, Nikki Fake, may she rest in peace, as she never did in life. Anyway, told you, pretty much told you.
I'm Daniel Frankel with Next TMT on behalf of David Bloom, the prescient, amazing Kreskin of Next TMT. Over and
Bend
out.
that spoon.
We'll
Bend
see
that
you
spoon.
in Denver.
All right. Over and out.